Welcome back, everybody. This week, we're recapping the technology learnings over the last year. Very excited about this week because you're going to learn so much about these technology conversations we had. How does it impact our lives? How can we get better at adopting technology, working with people, enabling them? So enjoy this week. You're going to have a lot of fun. You're going to learn a lot. And I certainly did. And every time listening to this, I get so much out of it. Thanks a lot and enjoy it. Yeah, as I said to our listeners, you're a very humble person. You've taken this company, you've been the CEO for such a long time. You've built it to where it is today, an international company starting in Pretoria in South Africa. Now it's international company. It's been bought over by one of the biggest mining equipment suppliers in the world. And there must be a sense of achievement and, feeling proud. And I know you're very team orientated. That's the biggest success so far, but there must have also been failures along the way and things that didn't go so well. Would you like to share some of those?
Yeah, just you mentioned the team side. If you think you can conquer the world on your own, it's not going to work. There's a good African saying: if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, walk with the team, walk with others. In this environment, you cannot do it on your own. So a team is very, very important. And in my space, I had an excellent team working with me on this. People that believe in the new direction, because we changed the business in a totally different direction that wasn't the norm, especially for the type of technology companies that's operating in this space. And to do that, you need to have people that believe in that, and the people that have got the same passion than what you've got. And I was lucky to have that. What I can say on failures, and I was thinking about it because you asked me about the failures. And I know it's going to sound unbelievable. You can say it's not possible, but it wasn't real failures for us on this journey. By saying that, you had a lot of problems and challenges and obstacles that you need to overcome. Sometimes some of these problems you solve in the right way. You think it's the best way. And then it's not exactly the way, you're not getting the results that you think it is. Yeah. So you can see those things as failures, but it's also for me part of building character, building experience, going forward on that side, and just making a new plan. Try to solve it in a different way. But if you stick and focus on the long term, what you want to achieve, then these things, it's not really failures. It's just a barrier that you need to overcome, or obstacle that you need to bypass, or in a new way, of a new route to get to that area. But always keep your focus on the end, the things that you would like to achieve on that side.
So it's not just about writing programs and finding the machine learning algorithms and creating fancy dashboards and mining the data. It's making sure that adds value to people. Have there been any major failures and lessons learned that you could share with us? I'm sure we all have those, but maybe one or two examples on your side.
I think, I'll think about some examples in a moment, but I think the kind of, for me, where failure oftentimes happens when implementing technology is when you try to make it technology driven instead of the process or the person driven. So we start with the technology and you ask, wow, there's this amazing new, shiny technology. We need to do this, and we need to do it now. And we don't really know how or why, but we're just going to do it. Versus you start with the people or the process. And you say, my company is it's whatever it is, it's a bread baking company. So, I'm only going to apply technologies that help me to bake bread better. And I'm going to be selective on them, because I honestly believe that people are not people are not stupid. They understand that they can see if there's not a reason why, and getting them there is really important. So I think in terms of failures, I think I'm thinking of some specific examples now where we developed, for example, reporting tools or dashboards that help people to do their jobs better by being able to understand information better. So I'm thinking in the energy sector, we did some work that we actually presented at Parge in Africa around dispatching of energy resources. But the disconnect in that case did happen with the person who was supposed to do it. That it was like, people who had been using the same tool for 20 years. And if I come to you after 20 years of you doing the same thing, and I do not a very thorough job of helping you to understand what the value is in using something new, that's kind of where things fall apart, because people, we really like going back to our comfort zones. And you have to kind of also help people out of that. And I think in cases like that, we didn't see full success.
Oh, I had first-hand experience, and you talk about, once again, the people side of the business, which is why this podcast exists, because mining is all about people. At the end of the day, we can have everything, but at the end of the day, it's people that make those gears go around. So the next question is more about things can sometimes go wrong with technology, and we all have been there and we've all seen that. And what do you say, to your team when an implementation or an adoption doesn't go as planned?
Yeah, you just hope it's not $1 million question. That's the first thing I say. And I say my friends, I say to my colleagues, is saying, well, if we're going to make mistakes, fail fast quickly, but also don't make R1 mistakes.
Yeah. So
I think it's about sandboxing and making sure that you also box the right risk for the right individual. Rita Bile, one of my directors and shareholders in the business, was first in this business. He can handle anything. Of the last 8 years, I can put him in hot water and he'll be able to handle it. But yeah, I think it's a learning process. I think also giving, one of our values again is R&D. And if you're in the research and development space and things aren't failing 10, 15% of the time, you're either not pushing it hard enough, or you're not, especially in the mining space, pushing it in the right areas.
Yeah.
And we deal with the most challenging environments probably known to man, other than putting things on the moon or to Mars with Elon. So things can go wrong, and things do go wrong. But I think staggering those, and we have the saying in our business, crawl before you walk, before you fly. And it was adopted from the drone experiences, but really our clients need to, often they're flying a drone but don't have a driver's license for a vehicle.
Yeah.
So now we've triaged that and say maybe only people with the driver's license that can drive a car can drive a drone. Yeah. So the learning there was saying, when people are making mistakes in that capacity, what is the root cause? So we try and revert back after our mistakes and our clients' oversight, and we try and mend it for the next client. And as that gets mended, the assurance gets higher and the platform grows. So yeah, I think mistakes and issues are inevitable, and then also being honest. I think candor in this business is, you're shrouded by having to deliver, and small community, word of mouth. Everyone's very worried about what people are saying. I think you need to own and be accountable, and then also be quick to remedy. We don't also always get everything right, like you say. Like we also make mistakes, and I think and I hope that our brand is one where we own to it, and then we maak reg in Afrikaans. We make right.
Yeah, that's amazing. Do you need some one-on-one coaching? Do you know that theminingcoach.com offer these services as part of Kumeno Consulting? Kumeno means grow, and most top athletes and sport teams all have coaches to grow and become better. Why don't you reach out to us by sending us an email and you will qualify for getting your first coaching session absolutely free. Contact us at Christo@theminingcoach.com. Terms and conditions apply. And is it something to worry about if you're in a career that is very manual? So remember, our mining coach audience have got from operator level, right through to whatever fancy qualifications you want to put behind your name. We are there for everybody. And what do we say to people that maybe operator level, mechanic level, and technology is going to take my job away? What's your view on that?
So that's the one thing we definitely do not want to say. We are taking people along on this, and we are now at the point where we actually want to study the impact that we have on the operator. It's not just about giving a tablet to an operator. We have to go sit with that operator. We have to go see in the operator's environment, how should the technology be introduced so that that operator can use it as a productive tool. So it's all about taking the people along in this journey, and it's what we call it's transformation. It's not just about implementing a system. It's about adopting a process, and with a new process that's being adopted, you hand the people tools and a new way of working. And we have to take it step by step. It's not just this when we talk about digitalization, it's not something that you can push on to people. You have to train up, you have to take a pilot group, try and practice and see how they're experiencing it before you scale it and deploy it in the organization. So yeah, there's a lot of work, but the people is most important, because that's our primary asset. The technology is supporting us, is enabling us.
Yeah. And it's not everybody that gets that. The technology is the enabler. It's still people at the end of the day that drive the business, that make the business successful of mining. And with technology also being a threat to jobs, is that a problem that you experience with your clients, that sometimes the technology is, intentionally broken because it may be a threat to a job or jobs at the mine?
Yeah, I think over the years we've seen things like sabotage, and we disappointingly had our robot dog at a mine site was turned away because labor wasn't felt like they were consulted enough, even though we'd done what we thought was sufficient. So it's a moving target, and I think that we're going to still see a lot of fear for technology, because in many respects it is. You look at advances in ChatGPT and some of that kind of software stuff. There are some roles that are under pressure. Those aren't even low-skilled roles. Those are now high-skilled roles where the lawyers and academia are worried about where they fit into this new digital world. So I think it's not just a mining problem to solve, but we get that the labor side of it. I think the way that we look at it is that we want to sell technology that gives humans superpowers. So just like the big Superman emblem on someone's chest, if the technology is not augmenting that person's effort or adding value or giving them like a superpower, like the ability to give them infrared views, which humans can't do, then we're probably in the wrong space. The other side of it is that I always ask, if you're worried about a taking job, would you send your children into that environment with that sensor? And immediately the answer is no, I wouldn't. Then why are we having this discussion about not sending Spot? Because Spot is a much better way to get the data more safely, and it's going to do so while you're on surface safely, getting back to your family during a blast re-entry period. So it's this educating the market is another big part of sometimes why our business moves slowly, and also why we have to move very quickly, because when things do happen and there's that kind of velocity in the industry, we need to capitalize. So it's a constant moving target in the summary, but in our experience, it's best to have tough discussions up front and involve unions, involve management, involve the foreman, and if you start at the bottom, you start at the top, and then sometimes you meet with this from the C-suite to the foreman level, and then you have to start all over again to come back to this proof of concept. So it's time consuming, but it's about engagement and excitement, and it's all these like human emotions that you kind of also have to address. Again, coming back to, it's not just about the tech. How do we get the team to adopt? And the more we talk about tech, the more we are talking to teams.
We a lot about developing and helping people on this podcast, and some of our listeners is maybe just considering a career change and thinking about technology. And last week I had a social event where I met a person for the first time, and this person has got no formal education on the technology software side of things, but he has taught everything himself. He is, earning a very, very good salary. He's like, I wouldn't say Bill Gates. He hasn't got Bill Gates' money, but he's got, he's taught himself everything. He's absolutely passionate about technology, about writing programs, writing software, designing, a design engineer, no formal qualification. However, he's passionate about what he does, and he's probably streaks ahead of a lot of people with degrees. What would you say to a person in the mining industry that is considering that sort of, well, mining is not the right place to do this, but I'm an operator somewhere, but I love, sitting behind my computer in the evenings and, when I'm off shift and I'm writing programs. Is there a future for people like that?
Absolutely. I mean, I think I'm also a benefactor of this, but the learning resources that have become available for free, there's so many people saying nowadays the internet is a free university, because exactly. you can learn, if you are willing, you can learn in the technology field pretty much anything that you need to learn on the internet. I think that I've tried, I've done it myself, and I've trained people using digital resources, and the question is oftentimes just the self-discipline to sit down and to actually learn these things, because if you're enrolled in a course, I think there's some benefit that comes with that, and some peer pressure, which is great, so maybe it's a good idea to embark on this journey with others, and to keep each other accountable. But there really is so much out there to help people. I would say, even though I have a degree in electronic engineering, the tools that I use on a daily basis, a lot of it I picked up through self-learning online. So absolutely. And also, I'm not surprised to hear that you met someone like that. I think it's going to become more of a common thing. I mean, I'm hiring in technology, or I've been hiring in technology for a while now, and it's amazing to see, like, there definitely is, when you see someone has been through university, it tells you some things. I mean, they've got, you at least know they've got perseverance. They can complete something and all that stuff. But oftentimes the people with the best skills are not necessarily the people with the best degree. Yes. You can't take it for granted anymore. Yes. Because the skills that you're looking for are, and technology is interesting because, I mean, even from its onset, in the software world, you had this concept of open source, and this is not a history lesson, but there was this kind of drive in technology to say that, especially software, we're going to make things available freely so that people can participate, and that is continued. And especially, like, the software environment is very community driven. So there are places online that you can slot into that you can interact with people right now. I mean, that are going to teach you that it's really something amazing. Something which I think is so, if it's just if you get access to that, I think most people will see. It's not that hard to actually pick up these skills. There are resources that can help you.
Pieter, looking at this for a person that's looking now to say, okay, well, I do want to jump in. I've figured out the why. I see the value of what this can do. What's your view on education? Because so much is available freely today in the development of applications. You don't have to to go formally anymore to university and get taught a course on this and a course on that. And what's your experience with, do you really need to, have the super duper MIT qualification to actually, get going on this new career change or, educating yourself?
I think it's important. Knowledge is important. And the way that the best way for you to gain that knowledge, you must go for that. The easiest way is to go on courses and make sure that you get the information. But if you're a self-starter and a guy, self-driven guy, you are right. It's so easy to get that. I'm a good example. I've got only matric. So I never finished off with what I was doing. The passion for doing the work was always for me more important. And it was also putting me under a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Because competing with people that's got all the qualifications, I need to be better in some areas, in that area. So I need to make sure that I'm very practical and understand how to use these things in business. And that's my life. And I know when I was competing for the CEO position for Minor P, I had matric. The one guy had his master degree in geology, and the other guy, MBA, was a CIO for a very, very big mining company. And then me with my matric, and I was a successful candidate because I understand the business that we were operating in.
Yeah.
Learned myself about those things, and we were supposed to do presentations on those things. And when you are prepared for what you want to do, doesn't matter how you need to prepare yourself. Make sure that you're on top of that. Then you can move forward in this area. So bring it back to your question. I think the easiest start: read, go for a course, do the things that's needed in this area to get that basic thing, but never stop. A lot of people, as soon as you've got a qualification, then you think you arrived. You never know. It's an ongoing process in life to learn. And things are changing so quickly that you cannot just stay at one place. You need to move forward on this thing. And I don't think there's one answer. I think it's qualification is a very important part. I'm saying that it's because it's giving you that start in life. Then carry on. There's a lot of ways that you can do it now, with easy ways to gain knowledge in this space.
The Mining Coach is part of Comena Consulting. If your company is in need of technical study support, due diligence studies, business improvement projects, or business and senior leadership coaching, why don't you contact us directly by clicking on the show notes and following the links that will connect you to us. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Enjoy your mining. Cheers.